Hello guys, am I audible? Hello?
Yeah, we are live.
Hello guys. We the students of CSPS third year, Rajakil, Samarunisha and Diksha are going to present you the concept and implementation of sum of even Fibonacci series without generating the oddities. So we have several other techniques like the traditional techniques to generate even Fibonacci summing. So this thing is very useful when it comes for real time application. So we are trying to come up with a more efficient way in which we can easily find out the sum of even values without generating the odd values in a even Fibonacci series. So what is Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series is a sequence of numbers where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. That is, if we have a value starting from always Fibonacci series will start from 0. So first number will be 0 and the second number will be 1. If we are adding 0 plus 1, we will get 1. So 1 plus 1, 2, and the cycle goes on. This is how the Fibonacci series is framed. So when we look into this Fibonacci series, the sequence will be like 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on. When we keenly look into this Fibonacci series, we can see that every third value of this Fibonacci series will be an even number. So we have to take more advantage of this thing. We have a general formula, like general sequence for the Fibonacci series, that is Fn is equal to Fn minus 1 plus Fn minus 2. That is the addition of first number, that is the first value, and the second value. With the seed values, F0 is equal to 0 and F1 is equal to 1. And for even Fibonacci series, we are coming up with the recurrence format, which is EFN is equal to 4 into EFN minus 1 plus EFN minus 2 with the 0 and 2, because the first two even numbers, as we all know, the first two even numbers of the Fibonacci series will be 0 and 2, where EFN represents the nth term in the even Fibonacci series, that is till the limit where we have to generate the sum of even Fibonacci series. Moving on, we will be coming up with a derived formula which will help us to understand this concept even more. I would like to share the difference between the traditional method and the new method of finding the sum of even numbers. The traditional method of finding the sum of even numbers in a Fibonacci series involve generating all the numbers in the series up to a certain point and adding them up only the even numbers. This method is straightforward and easy to understand, but it has some limitations. One major drawback of this method is that it can be very time consuming for large values of n. Generating all the numbers in the series up to a high value of n can take a lot of computational time, resources, and slow down the process. Additionally, this method generates a lot of unnecessary odd numbers that are not needed for finding the sum of even numbers. So, we have come up with a new method, that is using recurrence. The new method of finding the sum of even numbers in Fibonacci series is based on the observation that every third number in the series is even. By using the and directly calculate the sum of even numbers. To do this, we start with the first two even numbers in the series, which are 0 and 2. We then add the next even numbers in the series, which is 8, to get 10. We continue this pattern, adding every third even number until we reach the desired limit. This method is much more efficient than the traditional method, as it avoids generating unnecessary odd numbers. So, we are given a formula. Like, this is a simple calculation. We can easily understand that. First, we are provided with the initial Fibonacci sequence formula. As we all know, Fn is equal to Fn1 plus Fn2. That is the first value of the Fibonacci series and the second number. We are adding it. then we are expanding the both the terms, that is fn1. If we are expanding this fn1, we will be having fn2 plus fn3 is equal to fn1, where fn is the calculation. We can easily understand that. So when we are expanding those two terms, then we will be combining like terms, that is fn3 and fn3. We have got two like terms, so we will be summing up, and we will be having fn2 plus 2 fn3 and fn4. And then again we will be repeating the first step, that is the expanding of first term, that is fn2. And when we are expanding that fn3 and fn4, we will obtain that. Then again we will be left with two alike terms, that is fn4 and fn4. We will be combining those alike terms. Then we will be having, as well as we have one more alike term, that is fn3 plus 2 fn3. We will be combining those, and it will be 3 fn3 plus 2 fn4, and we will be expanding this fn4. While we expand that, we will be left with a sequence such as 3 fn3 and fn4, fn5 plus fn6. Then we will be combining this fn4 and fn5, which will give us fn6. So when you look into this, this will be similar to a formula, that is which we use to generate even Fibonacci numbers. That is, since every third Fibonacci number is even, so if fn is even, then fn3 is even, and f6 is also even. Let fn be x the even element and mark it as efx. If fn is efx, then fn3 is previous even number, that is efx1, and fn6 is previous of efx1, that is efx2. So fn is equal to 4 into fn minus 3 plus fn6, which means efx is equal to 4 efx minus 1 plus efx2. So, in the conclusion, I would like to conclude, we have learned that finding the sum of even numbers in Fibonacci series is an important task with real life application. The traditional method of finding the sum of even numbers has limitations and drawbacks, but the new methods we have introduced today overcomes these issues by avoiding the generation of odd values. By using this new method, we can efficiently find the sum of even numbers in Fibonacci series without wasting time and resources on generating unnecessary odd values. The further session will be continued by Diksha from third year CSBS. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Okay, so now let's start with the explanation part. I hope that the concept was clear, as that is the basic to understand this problem. So now we are going to see a few examples. So the problem statement here is that we should be generating even Fibonacci numbers, and at last we'll be printing the sum of all the even numbers till the nth term. So we have a constraint over here that we should not be generating odd numbers. We should only be generating the even numbers. So here you can see that I have given the Fibonacci series below in the second line. So moving on, we have three steps that we have to follow. So the first step will be generating the even numbers out of the series. We'll separate all the even numbers from the Fibonacci series so that we can use those even numbers for further process. The next step is that we'll add them up and print them together. Looking into the logic of this program, we'll be taking two variables as default, which is fib1 and fib2. In these two variables, we'll be assigning the default values as fib1 is equal to 0 and fib2 is equal to 2. basically, we are going to take two variables and assign the starting Fibonacci values. Then we see a function like sum is equal to fib1 plus fib2. So here we have to sum the starting two even Fibonacci numbers. Um, we also have a variable named current fib, which is for calculating the next terms according to the nth term. Now let's move on to the actual logic. So here you can see that we have used a for loop for this problem so that we can iterate and find a series of the elements till nth term. To understand this logic better, let's take an example. So this is the example. Let's take n value as 3. Now we have the formula current fib is equal to 4 into fib2 plus fib1. This is to calculate the upcoming Fibonacci numbers. Now, if we substitute the values, we will be obtaining a final value as 8, which is the next even number after 0 and 2. So, in a series, the first two numbers are 0 and 2, and the third number that we have generated is 8. So, moving on to the next line of code. Here you can see that its fib1 is equal to fib2. So basically what we are doing here is that we are assigning the fib2 value, which is 2. We are assigning that value to the variable fib1. And in the next line, you can see that we are assigning the current fib value, which is 8, to the variable fib2. As we have already emptied the variable fib2 in the previous step. So we are just assigning the value of current fib to the variable fib2. So in the next step, you can see that we're taking the first two Fibonacci numbers sum, which is 2, and we are adding them with the current fib, which is 8. So the final value is 2 plus 8, 10. So in a series, we can see that the first value is 0, the second value is 2, and the third value is 8. So adding them all up together, we can know that the answer is 10. So you can see as we give the input is n is equal to 3, we can get the output 10. So in a series, we can Here is another example. Following the same process, let's take n is equal to 5. So now we will go through the loop and keep on generating even numbers till the nth term, which is 5. So at last, we'll have the numbers such as 0, 2, 8, 34, and 144. So these are the numbers that we will be generating using the logic that I have shown you. So if we add them up together, we'll have 188 as our result. So I hope this explanation was clear. Now let's move on with the implementation part.
No live just now.
Hi everyone, myself Rajgil from third year CSPS. So I hope everyone got an idea of how this formula actually works. Now let us get into the implementation part. Okay. First, let us start with the main function. Let me just get an n value, which is like we know the Fibonacci series as they mentioned. uh, 0 starting with a 0, then 1, again 1, 2, 3, then 5, then 8, then 13, then 13 plus 8 will be 21, then 21 plus 13 will be 34, and it goes so on. So let us get an n value, which will be like this is the first even Fibonacci number, and 2 is the second even Fibonacci number, and 8 will be the third Fibonacci number. So if we get the n value, if we get it as 3, then we want the first 3 even Fibonacci numbers sum, which will be like 0 plus 2 plus 8. If the n value is 3, it will be like 0 plus 2 plus 8, and we want the answer is like 0 plus 2 plus 8, which is 10. So now let us get n value. Let me declare and get. Okay, next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call a function which will be like let us declare into a variable again. I'm gonna take it as result, and I'm gonna write a function like sum even Fibonacci, and I'm gonna pass this n value. Next, I'm gonna print the value which this function will. Now let us go move to the function part. I'm gonna get the n value here, and inside this what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take two variables which will be like fib1 and fib2. So in fib1 I'm gonna declare this 0 as the first variable value, and this 2 as the second variable value, which will be like fib1 value and fib2 value. Long fib1, which is the first even number in the Fibonacci series. I'm gonna declare it as fib1, and I'm gonna issue this with 0. The next will be fib2. I'm gonna initialize it with 2. The next, I'm gonna take a variable called sum, where we will sum all the even values. Let me take sum, and initially I'm gonna sum this fib1 and fib2. Fib1 plus fib2. The next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one variable which is called current fib. This will help us to navigate into the next even Fibonacci number. So let us see how this works. Long current fib, which is equal. I'm gonna initialize it with 0. Next what I'm gonna do is let us go with for loop, because in this Fibonacci series, if the n value is given, we have to generate to the next even fib value. We are not gonna generate the odd one. So if it is first we're gonna go with 0, which we have initialized here. Then we're gonna go with 2, which I have initialized here. The next even Fibonacci will be 8. So for generating this, I'm gonna go with the for loop. I'm gonna take the I value, which I'm gonna declare it with 3, because we have took first fib and also the second fib. So we're gonna generate only from the third position. And I'm gonna check it with I less than or equal to m. I less than. What I'm gonna do is here we're gonna use the formula which the above my friends have mentioned. Previously, my friends have mentioned that I'm gonna take that in this current fib. So what will be the formula? That is current fib is equal to 4 star fib 2 plus fib 1, because we know the formula will be like Fn is equal to 4 into Fn minus 1 plus Fn minus 2. Hope you got this. No, it will be like, let me just simplify it. 4 into B plus A. Let us keep it like this. Okay, hope you guys understand. This is the formula. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna initialize this fib2 value to fib1, because when we generate, the next value will be like, if we add 0 plus 2, we'll get 2, and then to the next series we want to get it like 10. So 2 plus 8, it will give us 10. So instead of generating using this formula, we have to gonna put those values in this class. So I'm gonna just change its position. 1, which I'm gonna initialize with 2. The next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna initialize fib 2 with this current fib. Now we have generated, in this current fib, we have generated the next number. What I'm going to do is I have to sum it with this variable. Only then I'll be able to get the, at last we're going to get the sum value. So sum plus or equal to current fib. Hope you guys understood this. So what I'm going to do is, so if the n is equal to, let me just tell you. If n is equal to 3, what it will gonna do is it will just take fib1 as 0 and fib2 as 2. And inside it will check if ni is equal to 3, yes, I less than or equal to, here it will be like 3, yes, I less than or equal to 3. And if it goes inside the loop, in the current fib, it will be like 4 star 4 into, what is the fib2 value? Fib2 value is 2. And inside fib2 value is 2. Then plus fib1. What is the fib1 value? That is 0. That is 0. What is the answer for this? 4 star 2 is 8, and plus 0 will be 8. So can you see, this is our third even Fibonacci series. Fibonacci value actually. This is the first, and this is the second even Fibonacci value, and this is the third even Fibonacci value. So this is what we can get this easily by using this formula. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna initialize fib1 with fib2. What is in fib2? Fib2 we'll get it as 2. And next I'm gonna do fib2. What is the current fib value? We got this as 8. So I'm gonna initialize fib2 as 8. Now we'll sum what is in the sum. We actually know fib1 plus fib2 is 2. So with this sum, we're gonna add current fib. That is 2 plus 8, which is equal to 10. So if you see, we have took n value as 3, right? We have took n value as 3. What is 3 Fibonacci? 3 even Fibonacci values is 0, 2, and 8. Yes. So 0 plus 2 plus 8 will be 10. This is the answer we got. If we again go into the for loop, I will be like 4, and this is outside the loop. Like it will not accept, because 4 is greater than 3. So as we mentioned n value as 3, 4 is greater than 3. It will exit the loop, and then we have to return the sum value so that we can print it. Return sum. So what if we give n value is 0? What it will be? So we have to give a function for it. Let me just go with, if n is less than or equal to 0, we have to go with returning 0. Yes, you agree with me? Okay. I'll also put one printf here. So let us see what it is. I'm gonna print the current fib. Everything is clear. Okay, let me just go with run. Yes. Sorry, I missed the semicolon. Okay, let us give the n as 3, 8 and 10. So the current fib value will be like 8 and the result will be like, and the sum will be like 10. For your clear understanding, let me give printf here. And okay, we shall now we'll give it as 0. So the sum of 0 economically, see 0 even Fibonacci values is 0. What if we give it as 2? Sorry for this. We'll give the n value as 2. So the sum of even Fibonacci values up to 2 even Fibonacci values is 2 because first even Fibonacci value is 0 and the second one is 2. So it has mentioned it as 2. Now let's go with 3. Can you see? We have printed this current fib value and this one is 8 as we clearly stated in this formula. Yes, and the sum will be like 10 because first 3 even Fibonacci values will be 0 plus 2 plus 8. So the sum will be 10. Let us go with 4. What is the 4? So the first Fibonacci even Fibonacci value is 0, second one is 2, third one is 8, and the fourth one is 34. Yes, can you see it? So 0 plus 2 plus 8 plus 34 will be like 44. We got the sum of even Fibonacci series. So using this formula, we are not generating the odd values at all. We are only just skipping this to the even values. Hope you get this. Let us check it with all the n. This is the fifth n even Fibonacci value, and the sum will be like 188. 6 will be 796. So let me just explain you. Lastly, explain you this. So in main function, I've got the n value. So which will be like n even values. How many even values you have to sum it with? And I'm gonna call a function called sum even Fibonacci, and I'm passing the n value. Here, firstly, I'm checking whether the n is 0 or less than 0 because we cannot generate a Fibonacci series for numbers less than 0. So I'm gonna check this. If it is true, then I'll return it as 0. Simply, I'll just return it as 0. Then I'm gonna take two variables, which will be like fib1 and fib2. In fib1, I'm gonna initialize it with 0 because the first Fibonacci value will be 0, which is even. So I'm gonna declare the first even Fibonacci value as 0 and the second even Fibonacci value as 2. As you know, the second Fibonacci value is 2. I'm gonna initialize it with fib2. The next, I'm gonna take sum. Here, I'm gonna plus 0 and 2. Only then we'll be able to get the final answer. Like if we give 2, then the sum of first two even Fibonacci series will be 0 and 2. The next variable will be current fib. This is for like iterating to the next value, the next even value. as we mentioned here, this is the formula we saw. So if we replace this both the variables as 0 and 2 and 0 respectively, we'll be able to get the next even Fibonacci value, which is I have mentioned here. See, so in 4, if we multiply 4 with fib2, which is 2, and we sum it with fib1, which is actually 0 in the first initial stage, if the I is 3, the answer will be like 8. So that is the third even Fibonacci value. The next I'm gonna this is for your understanding part. This printf line. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna iterate the value. So I'm gonna just initialize fib1 with the fib2 and current fib with fib2. So this will help in our next iteration, as we have to multiply and add here. So the next thing will be like next, if the I is equal to 4, the fib2 value will be like 2. Sorry, fib2 value will be like 8 and fib1 value will be like 2. So that will give you your next even Fibonacci number, which will be like 34. The next I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add it with the variable sum. So that is the final answer we're gonna get. So I'm gonna add current fib value with the sum. And if this iteration stops, we're gonna return the value of sum. So if we just print the value which we got from the function, we're gonna get the last final answer. Let me just take one step. Right? So sum of 5 even Fibonacci value is 188. So here we are not at all generating the odd values. So this is considered as the most efficient method, where the time complexity will be less. Hope you guys understood this. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you everyone.